On this week's episode of Waypoint, information comes out of Vanyan during the WoW Roundtable at Gamescom, Stormwind still in trouble amongst solo Stoneguard, and the glory of the Orgrimmar mount. What's up guys, and welcome to Waypoint, your World of Warcraft recap for September 4th, 2013. I'm your host, Mike Schaffner. Now, a wealth of information has come out of Vanyan from the WoW Roundtable during Gamescom. First up, some information about raiding in patch 5.4 is that Garrosh's heirloom weapons were created to reward players who invested a lot of time in the final boss of the expansion. As a lot of us are accustomed to, almost all of the gear that we get is instantly lost within the first few zones of a new expansion. But with this new approach, hopefully it will reward players with gear that will last until the next max level. The topic of racials came up as well during the discussion, and players felt like they're seeing a dramatic shift of raiders going horde for better racials. The development team was considering changing racials for 5.4, however, since it only affects the top few guilds, the developers actually felt like it wouldn't be worth changing due to just only a handful of guilds. Additionally, developers disclosed that they were considering moving Dalaran and using it for a base of operations for the raid on Orgrimmar. However, this move potentially could have caused serious performance issues for lower end PCs and possibly made players feel as though they were no longer being the hero. Much like how in Cataclysm we kind of felt lost without Thrall, the developers are concerned that players might feel as though that they're not able to take on Garrosh if it wasn't for Dalaran's appearance. During the same interview, more news came to light about PvE in general and that the whole Valor system needs to be looked at next expansion. They feel that you should not be able to cap your Valor by raiding alone, and that Valor should be awarded best to players who are doing a variety of content, specifically stuff that they wouldn't normally do. But there needs to be a balance between all of the extremes. The developers are considering a system that's similar to the way that the Conquest catch-up system works by allowing players that return to catch up on Valor more easily. Additionally, it looks like the team doesn't think that the legendary Cloak quest and reward is really much of a problem. Players had to work the entire expansion to get it, and there was talk that there was only about 10% of the player base that would actually be receiving it. To finish up, the developers stated that they feel that heroic-only bosses are a nice addition when they can be fit in, but that Rodin was not executed as well as he could have been due to lack of testing. While it's possible that we could see more of these encounters in the future, it will be only if they can determine a better way to test these bosses. This philosophy, of course, also could translate to heroic-only phases as well. A few weeks ago, we took a look at a data mined version of a Shaw-touched version of Stormwind Harbor. While some were busy freaking out over the implications for the Alliance, others like myself were associating it with the Garrosh Hellscream encounter. Well, it appears that there is more to the story than just one answer. While the developers did confirm the existence of a heroic-only Stormwind encounter during the Hellscream fight, another version of this alternate reality is tied to a quest line involving the Bronze Dragonflight. The quest line has 12 parts and takes a minimum of 6 weeks to finish. The quest line begins by visiting Chromie outside your faction's area in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. There, she describes the Bronze Dragonflight's interest in the Timeless Isles, and how the Bronze Dragonflight is actually no longer as powerful as it once was. To aid in their recovery, each week players will help calibrate an hourglass known as the Vision of Time, and with this item, players will be able to catch a glimpse into timeways and help discover a traitor amongst the Dragonflight. Eventually, as the hourglass grows more powerful, players will be sent into the Siege of Orgrimmar to peer into one of the most devastating of timeways, Stormwind Harbor. Completely obliterated, with every figurehead of both factions impaled upon a spire. Sylvanas, Vol'jin, Thrall, Varian, Jaina, Tyrande, even Terran Zoo are all hanging lifeless within this timeline. It's going to be interesting to unveil the exact implications for this timeline, but I think it's safe to say this is what's going to happen if Garrosh wins. As a reward for the questline, players will receive Valor and Timeless coins for all of their troubles. Every once in a while, an amazing solo comes out that's usually from a Blood Death Knight. However, this time around, Meeby Baby, a Brewmaster Monk, has soloed the heroic Stoneguards encounter from Moshigan Vaults. He completed the encounter with an item level of 548 and manages to kill the boss around 30 seconds after its Berserk timer. He describes that he is using a glyph of guard which changes his absorb shield to only absorb magic damage, extending its duration, but also increasing healing while active by 30%. With this trick, he manages to get to the end of the fight with around 450,000 DPS and 80,000 healing per second with the help of Vengeance. The glory of the Orgrimmar Raider mount has been data mined, and it appears this time it'll be the Reins of Galakras. Galakras is the 5th boss in the raid and also Warlord Zayla's trusty steed. This encounter appears to be a 2-phase encounter that feels somewhat similar to the way that Razor Scale works in Ulduar. Players will have to manage 4 named adds while ascending 2 high towers to fire harpoon guns to bring Galakras down to be damaged. Once on the ground, it's an all-out Zerg dealing with only 1 major ability that increases in damage over time. Also remember that the Siege of Orgrimmar meta achievement can now be completed in flex mode as well as normal and heroic, and unlike previously, heroic kills are no longer required for the meta achievement. Next up, Blizzard has announced that the 5-part series written by Richard A. Knack, Dawn of the Aspects, will be coming to paperback this November. Dawn of the Aspects describes the life of Kalecgos, the youngest of the former Dragon Aspects, as he explores the history of the original Aspects and where their powers might have come from. Now stripped of their powers, how can he, or any of his kind, still hope to make a difference in the world? If you just can't wait until November, then why not check out some of the other amazing World of Warcraft novels on Audible? Whether you're unraveling the mind of Jaina Proudmoore when Theramore was bombed, or catching up with Vol'jin in the new book Shadows of the Horde, there's no shortage of great story in the World of Warcraft. But in today's age, with people's busy lives, sometimes you just aren't able to sit down and read a 300+ page novel. For those people out there, there's an amazing service known as Audible, which has hundreds of audiobooks ready to download and listen to, including 4 Warcraft novels. To get your ears on these great novels, head on over to audible.com/gamebreaker, where you can sign up for a free 30-day trial, and they will even include a free audiobook so you can get started today. Last up here on Waypoint, we want to take some time to showcase your guys' greatest work. If it's World of Warcraft related, send it in or just tweet it to me, because I want to see it. This week's highlight comes from Machinima creator RedEyeLobine, who put his blood, sweat, and tears into creating this outstanding Machinima music video for Pillar Song Frontline. It's by far and away one of the best Machinimas I've ever seen, and RedEye does such a great job creating a cinematic feel throughout the entire video. The video has 2 warrior friends standing back to back, fighting against the odds, trying to hold out until the rest of their team can arrive. If you guys want to check out the right way to do Machinima, I highly recommend you check out this video. And do so by clicking right here. That does it for this week's episode of Waypoint. Be sure to check back every week on Tuesday for updated World of Warcraft news. If you guys like this video, please check out the channel and subscribe as it helps build our audience. And if you want more World of Warcraft content, be sure to check out Legendary. It goes live every Thursday at 8 p.m. PST. I'm Mike Shaffnet. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Mike Shaffnet. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next Waypoint.
Gamebreaker TV.